2016 is almost in the history books, and for that reason, now is as good a time as ever to look back at some of the old year's most memorable stories. What up, sports fans? I'm Paulo Camacho, and you're watching the Macho Sports Report. Back to the Future 2 wasn't too far off, was it? You all know what I'm talking about. Should have put some money on the Cubbies. One of the most famous cinema predictions of all time was only wrong by 1 year. It helped that the 2016 Chicago Cubs were one of the most talented teams in the major leagues, with everyday guys like Kris Bryant, Dexter Fowler, Addison Russell, and Anthony Rizzo, and a talented pitching staff headed by John Lester and Jake Arrieta. The expectations were high going into their 2016 campaign, especially since they were unceremoniously swept out of the NLCS the year before. I think it's safe to say they exceeded those expectations in 2016. The Cubs finished third in total runs and third in total RBIs, while their rotation finished tops in ERA, quality starts, and opponents' batting average. Needless to say, they cruised to an NL Central crown, winning the division over the St. Louis Cardinals by a whopping 17.5 games. However, despite their dominance in the regular season, the postseason wasn't going to be much of a cakewalk. After all, they had to face off against the San Francisco Giants in the NLDS, a team that was known for their own brand of postseason even-year magic. And despite racing out to a 2-0 series lead, the Cubs found themselves staring a decisive Game 5 against Johnny Cueto in the face, down 3 runs in the 9th inning of Game 4. Fortunately for them, the Giants' magic died with their historically terrible bullpen, and they rallied with 4 runs to reach the NLCS. There they faced the Los Angeles Dodgers, primed with a top 10 offense and a rotation buoyed by former Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw. While they fell behind 2-1 after 3 games, the Cubs won 3 straight to do what they haven't done since 1945, reach the Fall Classic. They would face off against another snake-bitten postseason franchise, the Cleveland Indians, from a city who recently broke their own sports curse. They haven't hoisted a commissioner's trophy in 68 years, but after they took a 3-1 series lead over Chicago, it looked like Cleveland was going to turn into its own version of Titletown. Ironically enough, like their basketball counterparts, the land was about to see another 3-game comeback. Unfortunately for them, it would be at their expense. After winning by the skin of their teeth in Game 5 and a 6-run blowout in Game 6 at Progressive Field, the Cubs forced a Game 7 that will likely go down as the best in World Series history. Chicago took a 6-3 lead into the 6th and were about to ride their workhorse closer, Aroldis Chapman, to a 2-inning save. Unfortunately for them, the baseball gods had other plans. Cleveland center fielder Rajai Davis, who, mind you, had 55 career home runs in his 11-year career, hit a game-tying 2-run shot in the 8th off of the fastest hurler in the league. Add in the 17-minute rain delay after the 9th of a tie ball game, and some were wondering if the game would be finished that night. Chicago's Ben Zobrist and Miguel Montero answered that question with 2 RBIs in the 10th, and despite Cleveland's best efforts to tie the game, the series ended between NL MVP Kris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo at first base. The Cubs, for the first time in over a century, could finally call themselves champions. So now I pose the question to you. Where were you when the Cubs made history and ended the Billy Goat curse? Leave your responses in the comment section below. I'm Paulo Camacho, and you've been watching the Macho Sports Report. Peace out, sports fans!